Hey, what's happening guys? Now the B-roll footage for The Amazing Spider-Man 2 has been released online. Now in case you don't know what it is, B-roll footage is basically we see a scene being filmed from the behind the scenes look. You know, back in 2012 when they released the B-roll footage in few parts, it spoiled a lot of things actually for the first film months before its release. So you know guys, you might want to avoid watching it because this particular video down below in the description box actually contains spoilers. So does my video. Now if you want to avoid them, don't watch it really, there will be some spoilers. Now the B-roll footage contains lots of scenes, behind the scenes look, and you know, Mark Webb filming a Times Square battle with Spidey, which looks just great. We see some scenes which we haven't seen in any footage before, some interaction between Spidey and Electro, some great shots of their fight scenes, you know, how it was filmed. So that's pretty interesting, looking forward to that. Now let's talk about the highlights. Now first of all, we do know from the B-roll footage that Norman Osborn and Richard Parker, Peter's father, actually share a scene together. Now this obviously takes place you know, long time ago, years ago, when Peter was still a child. We can see that Richard Parker is still working at Oscorp, and he explains how his super spiders work, and Norman Osborn stands there. Now this is either one of the flashback scenes in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, or it's some sort of recording which Peter Parker will discover later on. Really interesting. You know, we do know that Richard worked for Oscorp, and then he developed something which might be, you know, besides spiders, he probably developed the symbiote, a suit for cancer, you know, as they called it in the Ultimate Universe. So at this point, Oscorp probably wanted to use his researches for bad purposes, and he actually went to you know, to hide basically from them. He abandoned Oscorp, and he you know, he left Peter to his Aunt May and Uncle Ben, and both Richard and Mary Parker went to a plane basically to go far away from Oscorp as far as possible. Now once again guys, spoilers, some major spoilers from the first 15 minutes from the film, which were described last week basically. We do know that the opening flashback scene will be sort of, well, one of the scenes will be a Richard and Mary Parker sort of death. You know, they fly on a plane and a co-pilot kills another pilot, and he shoots Mary Parker, Peter's mother basically, and he tries to shoot Richard Parker, who does a message for Peter recording, and he sends it to Roosevelt abandoned train station, which Peter discovers later in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and they fight. Richard Parker and co-pilot, they fight on the plane. Richard Parker takes a gun and shoots a plane, and this pilot guy, who probably works for Oscorp, a killer, you know, a hitman, he falls from the plane and the screen turns black. So Richard Parker's fate is currently unclear. You know, we don't really know if he survived or not. So probably he survived. You know, there are some theories that Richard Parker is actually alive, so definitely looking forward to that. If that's true, it will be a huge revelation to Peter Parker, you know, and to everyone, to general audience. Oh my god, you know, Peter's father is actually alive. Regardless, in this scene, Richard Parker and Norman Osborn, they stand near spiders, and it's maybe some sort of presentation for Oscorp, some sort of commercial. And at this point, Norman is probably not sick yet. You know, he didn't take this serum yet. But you know, we do know that once Norman gets sick, everything at Oscorp works for towards Norman, towards his regeneration, towards make him, you know, towards save his life basically. For example, Dr. Connor's lizard serum was just another failed cure for Norman. Nothing more, nothing less. At this point, Norman is probably still healthy and alright, you know, and then he takes the serum, he tries it on himself, something Richard Parker developed, and he gets sick, and he wants to get Richard back to the Oscorp to save him, and Richard knows that Oscorp will use his researches for bad purposes, and he goes, basically he hides from Oscorp. That's why they send the pilot to kill them, Peter's parents. So definitely looking forward to this scene, very interesting, definitely a flashback scene. Now of course another highlight from the footage would be the very end of the footage. We see Mark Webb filming a scene. He sits there near the camera, and we hear a probably Goblin's laugh in the background. I'm pretty sure it's Dan DeHaan, Harvey Osborn. He has this menacing laugh, and that's basically the first time we ever hear Goblin's voice. So definitely check out the B-roll footage for that particular laugh by the end, it's quite menacing. Of course, another brief mention is the extended scene between Harry Osborn and Electro. Electro is in containment cell, and Mark Webb actually explains to Dan DeHaan that you will get knocked out in this scene. Basically, we know this, Electro escapes the containment cell, and he asks Harry, why should I trust you? And Harry tries to brainwash him, tries to make him work for him. Once again, I go back to the first 15 minutes from the film, which were described by IGN and other media outlets who seen the first 15 minutes, including other scenes, total 33 minutes from the film. Now, a lot of the reviews reveal that Dan DeHaan is probably sick, and he uses Electro. He has some sort of disease, and he uses Electro to get back to Oscorp. He gets knocked out of Oscorp, something I've been telling about, one of my theories actually coming true, and he needs Electro to get back to Oscorp. And Electro asks him, why should I trust you? Both of them are teaming up eventually, and Harry, besides using Electro to get back to Oscorp, perhaps to find a cure, and most likely, as I've told you, as I've explained you guys a couple of days ago, I've seen the featured, one of the behind the scenes featured, which was released online, and we see a shot of Harry Osborn using Donald Mencken as a hostage to get down to the chambers with Doc Ock's arms, Vulture's wings, Goblin serum. So basically Harry needs to get back to Oscorp to basically use the serum. He has some sort of disease, which is kinda interesting, something very surprising, and he needs to get to Oscorp probably to take the Goblin serum, because he believes that the serum will actually cure it or something like that. We don't really know for sure what's going on there, but it's pretty interesting. Now, and to confirm what I just said, basically in the B-roll footage there is this scene with Peter and Gwen, and Peter tells Gwen, Harry is dying. Harry Osborn is dying. Now, once again guys, probably confirmed, or probably maybe Harry Osborn lies about his disease, he just wants to take the serum, or maybe there's something about his blood. It's so complicated right now to come up with a decent theory, but it's probably that Harry does indeed die in this film, and he needs to basically, just like his father, he is looking for a cure. Definitely I don't think we can come up with a decent theory at this point until we'll see the film, but even Peter mentions that Harry is dying. So all the Osborns are dying and all of them are looking for a cure. Very interesting. That's about it guys, check out the B-roll footage down below. It does contain spoilers, of course, as you know by now, and definitely looking forward to some of the scenes, especially the Times Square fight scene, and I'm very curious about Harry Osborn's disease. Can't wait to see what's it all about in the actual film. Thanks for watching guys, let me know about your theories, about your thoughts and ideas down below, and I'm off now.